Okay, so last time we kind of talked about spheres, and let me resize this one real quick. There we go. And let me move this. So the sphere, zoom in, zoom out a little bit. By default, um, this is the UV for a sphere. But if you click on automatic, you can see how this isn't quite what we want. But you can see where the projections are almost kind of like a box shape. Um, a lot of this stuff really isn't going to work too well. So, um, so the sphere wouldn't be the best tool to use, or automatic. I'm sorry, wouldn't be the best tool to use for a sphere. I mean, if you look at where things are being cut, yeah, it's just not um, a good way to do the UV. All right, and so well, I mean, there's other ones to choose from. Spherical might seem like the logical choice, but look what happens. This all gets stretched out at the top, um, and this is all bad. I wouldn't recommend using that as well. Um, Cylindrical makes no sense. So let's get into what actually I like to point out is that if you'll notice, there's white lines and there's blue lines. So these blue lines are lines that are merged together, where these white lines, this is kind of like the seam of the object. You'll notice, oops, there's a seam that's white that goes through here. That's that white line. It's basically a seam where it cuts open and where it closes. So truly the reason why I want to um, mention this seam that's coming down here. When you UV something, you want to make sure that this part of the model isn't visible enough to where things are overlap or not mismatched or overlapping terrible. So it's not seen in your scene. So it could be hidden in your scene somewhere. Maybe this sphere is going to be like this in your scene, and this is behind, and you're not really going to be able to see it. So maybe this is a globe tucked in a corner of a desk somewhere in your scene. Um, and so you're not going to really see this scene right here. Okay, and then if I was to click on camera base, let's see what that would look like. This is basically showing you a camera view um, of the object. And what's problematic about this is if you select, go to select something, you can possibly select more than what you want. So it's problematic. Oops. So let's go back to camera base. All right, let's click on normal base. This is also problematic. Um, so let's try planar and best plane. So best plane, you can kind of just select what you want and make a plane out of it. Um, yeah, let's not click on that one. Let me undo that one. Yeah, so you can make a plane out of this. Um, maybe this is how you want it. It's really up to you. Um, maybe you want to make a plane out of that. You can make a plane out of that using the best plane. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to go through over these with you. So let's get into this one. So the best one for this one is going to be automatic, plain and simple. And right now I'm going to show you the manual version of it. So I went ahead and redid the cube, and I'm just going to show you the manual version of how to do that. So let's go ahead and use cut and sew here. All right, we'll go ahead and get into this. All right, so these four are for cut, these four are for sewing. I mainly use this one and then these two. That's pretty much it. But we'll go ahead and show you how to detach some of these shells over here. So now we'll have to select edges, and then let's zoom in on this. Now we want to separate these faces from the shell. Currently, right now, they're all lumped in one together. And you got to make sure that the entire line is selected in order to cut. Because if you only select these two and you go to hit cut, well, that line just turned white. But if I go back to my face mode, I'm sorry, object mode. Sorry, it's been a while. So you'll have to go to UV shell mode. And look, it's still together. So let's go back to edge, and then let's select the proper lines. Cut. And so when I go back to the UV shell mode, this is now separated. I can move this. However I want. And so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and we'll go ahead and separate the rest. In fact, you know what? I'll just do one more. So let's, click on that, cut, do the same thing here, cut, cut. Notice how they went from blue to white, and all these are now separated. So let's go to this UV shell, check these out, and see how they're all separated. Now, if I wanted to recombine these, I could just move this back and sew these edges, actually. So let's do that. So let's go to edge, select the edge, and then click on sew. Go back to UV shell, and now that's back together again. Reunited, and it feels so good. All right, let me show you something else. So let's click on edge. Let's show you the sew tool, or I'm sorry, the stitch together tool. So now the way to get them back together, you can move this entire thing and try and line it up. That's just too much work. Stitch together works really well in this instance. There's A to B or B to A, and I forget which one's which, but let's just try this. Go ahead, click, and bam, they're back together. If I go to UV, oops, I'm sorry. UV shell, they're back together. Go back to edge, and then just hit cut, just so they're separated again. And then that's how you use stitch together. Sew is if they're right on top of each other, just hit sew, stitch together if they're apart, and it does the job for you. So that's how you use those tools. All right, let's zoom in. Let's say you have something like this where it's cut and this is cut and you're like, oh, I don't want to cut anymore. Sometimes this happens, and then you can just click all three of these and hit sew, and that takes care of that problem. Really, really useful. Now the cut tool is supposed to be quick. You just left click, hold, and then drag, and it cuts for you. But sometimes it can be problematic where you left click, hold, drag, and you can have some problems, like it not going all the way through. But this is relatively quick. And now let's check our shells. So UV shell. So these are separated, and let's move these and see how they look. So that's not too bad. Sometimes using this tool, it can get distorted. So not too bad. Oh, you know what? I probably should have. Let's do this. Edge. Let's sew these together. There we go. All right, let's sew these together, and then let's try the cut tool. So right here, all the way down, cut. Again, not too bad, but sometimes it can distort. So let's try and move these. Not too bad. This worked out. Sometimes it can get distorted like around here, and yeah, see that? That is what we don't want. It can get inaccurate. We want something that's clean, like this. So, all right, so now we're just going to arrange these shells. So this is the bottom one, so I should throw this here at the bottom. This is so over here on this side. This one is on top, so let's throw this one on top. And then actually this one should be over here. And this one, I believe, should be over here. Just doing some organization. I think this is a good place to stop for right now, but I just did this so you can have a visual representation of where everything's at. So that's the top view, bottom, that's the left side. Oops, this should have been switched. So let's switch those up. There we go. And yeah, left side, right side, and then you have the front. Here's the front and here's the back. There we go. So we'll go ahead and stop right here. Then when my next video, we will go over how to UV this on top of those. We'll go ahead and in the next video rearrange